Good evening. It look it looks like dear old Derek Barlow is back at it again. You see these, Derek? Letters patent. See these, Derek? Letters patent. See these? Letters patent. See these? Colonial Affidavits Act. Colonial Laws Validity Act. Bill of Rights. All the things that you said I lied about, you were lying about. The trouble is, Derek, you sunk people. They lost their properties. You never turned up at court. You never turned up when the police didn't bother to get a proper warrant and stick up for the people. I've got a lot of complaints about you and all the different laws which you say don't exist. And the problem with you, Derek, this is a letters patent to confer a constitution on the state of Western Australia. Seat of Government Surrender Amendment Act for what I said earlier. The Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK, letters patent. And this is Act to consolidate and amend the law relating to elections in the legislature for the whole of Australia. You see, you lied. You said I voted in the Western Australian election. Outright lie. Anybody who knows me can tell you I put out a pile of letters. The letter was exactly what I'm going to tell you in a minute. It stated, I, Wayne Kenneth of the Family Glue, attended your polling booth on this date to vote. There were no lawful candidates. I showed you on the electoral documents. Nothing was signed. Only the political parties put up the candidates when the actual act says they can't. Only the governor can, but we don't have any governors. I agree with that part of what you've said. I do not agree with the fact that you said I voted. I did not. I would have had to cross my name off. I didn't do that. I handed up the letter, and the lady said, what's this? I said, my objection, because you don't have any candidates. So you lied about that. You make all these claims about what I've done. You said Victoria fell off the perch. What sort of a brain-dead clown are you? I have the letters patent. I just showed you now. Did you see it? It says, signed by Queen Victoria. She didn't fall off the perch, as you say. She died from sickness on the 26th to the 28th of January 1901, straight after Federation. She was too sick to sign some of the documents. They didn't go back to England in that time. They went earlier in the hands of Sir Edmund Barton and Mr. O'Connor and a couple of other people. And you said, you talked about a referendum in 2023. The only referendum we've had which was unlawful was for the voice. I didn't vote in that either. All the Aboriginal people that I know, and there's a lot, got together. There was 5,000 met in Darwin, Alice Springs, to pray and vote against the voice. Our little native boxer spoke to me. The conversation we had is private, on the way between Walloona and Kalgoorlie, along with his companion. I did not have anything to do with that referendum. I did not have anything to do with a referendum in relation to homosexuals. You see, before the voice, for a year and a bit before that, I wasn't allowed on Facebook or anything else. So anything you're claiming I said then is a lie. Your problem is, Derek, I've known about you for a long time. I watched a video today sent to me by a poor bloke who filled out your bills of exchange that you told him he should do to pay for council rates, to pay for his property, and they lost their property. The film when all these police turned up along with the council and seized and kicked them out in the street, and you weren't there. Where were you, Derek? Hiding while these people lost their properties. And all you can say is, I'm lying. No, Derek, you're the liar. Boosh! That's your idiot answer to everything. Because you are losing. You have produced no paper. I've produced this much documents. I've got thousands of them. I research everything and talk from the papers. Would I debate you? When you change your attitude, yes. Your attitude is you've got to be top of the wuzzer or everybody else is a liar and a fraud. But that's not true. You see, when somebody says something to me and I don't know if it's true or not, or if I believe it mightn't be true, I go away and research and come back and say it. This is imperial law. It was issued. It's how you vote. What you're talking about, this state's only the governor of the state, and we haven't got one. We haven't got any governors. I've said that for years. We've never had a lawful federal parliament. Not since Federation. Simply because we only had 5 of the 6 states required to create the first parliament. You didn't figure that one out. I didn't figure it out. You see, the person who did, who you seem to be calling a liar, was Governor Kyle, a Western Australian governor. He gave me a big heap of documents. He asked me if I'd look into them. So I had a look, because I did discuss the irregularities, the treason and the fraud, both in the courts in Western Australia and the Parliament of Western Australia. So he gave me a heap of documents, along with a nice gentleman named Johnson from Northampton in Western Australia. Gave me another heap of documents, and a heap of other people. Then I sat down and I went to the archives in Perth and researched them. You're saying I make all these claims without any authority. I don't make any claims without authority or with authority. I have one authority. I'm one of the 27 million in this country. I have every right to explain to the people the truth that I'm talking. And I have, like this document, the truth to show you. But you don't want to know, because all you're said about doing is going buzz like a lunatic and a maggotly moron, and making claims that I voted or I didn't do this. I called out Hurley several times because he wasn't lawfully sworn in. How did I know that? I watched when they were sworn in. They did not take the lawful oath, none of them. The politicians don't. And I've worked closely with a friend who is a selector for the Liberal Party. We have tried for over 20 years to get the politicians to listen to all these laws, the ones you claim you know everything about. The fact that none of them are lawful. The fact that they think that the Parliament can create whatever laws it likes, and they can't. You see, Western Australia has never, ever had its lawful constitution in place. You know what that says, Derek? You know about it because you were talking to a person that I know, who knows you, who claims you got all this knowledge, but you've never produced it. I haven't started talking about you until today, and the other day, that's twice, because of your absolute nonsensical crap to try and bring down me. Oh, you took on the banks. Those banks are foreign banks. You didn't take them on at all. If you did in the court, did you win? Where's your documents? I've never won any cases. I won against the council in Geraldton in 2019. I won in the council in Geraldton in 2012. You didn't. I did. Actual court case. The magistrate, there was 43 witnesses in the court in 2019. The magistrate says to Civic Legal, Gray Porter was the lawyer, he said, I cannot give you the order you want to remove his property off his land. Magistrate said that. I cannot give you an order in relation to the ownership of the land. I don't have the authority. He showed you. I then dropped his green constitution on the table and said, this constitution is going to put you and all your friends behind bars. He started to shake a bit. I picked it up and dropped it again and said, this document is going to put you behind bars for the rest of your life. This is blatant treason. That's a green mucus constitution. It's authorised by nobody except the political parties. It's copyrighted to the political parties. It's printed in China. Wasn't that nice? The problem is, Derek, you shoot off the mouth. You have no evidence at all. Didn't Derek do the same with Brian Shaw? I don't know if he did, Michael. I know Brian Shaw left me hanging on a limb in relation to the governor because he put the document together. I filed it. And the fact of the problem you have, Derek, is you are trying to destroy me for what I'm doing. Someone said we should join together. Well, it would make it easier if you would shut your big, loud trap. Stop lying. Stop calling me a liar. Come here and have a look. You flew to Western Australia that many times and disrupted this state with your lies and fraud. And you lost cases because you walked away, left people hanging. Brian Shaw has done it. I've seen him do it. He left me like that. He left a friend of mine like that. We sucked it up. We stood up. We got the documents and did our own cases. Do I dislike Brian Shaw for that? No. You know what he did? He made us think and do our own stuff. What do? You walk away and let them lose their property like the video I saw today, which you put the paperwork in, bills of exchange, to pay his mortgage and pay for the council. And the gentleman who owned the property died penniless because of you. And you dare to come on here, you want to challenge me, you start telling the truth and put the truth there. No, Derek, you're not an expert in anything, only going, British like a moron, because that's all you do. So I am not going to debate you. I'm not saying I won't, but you get your facts correct. I've just showed you the letters patent and everything necessary to prove what you said is a lie. Queen Victoria didn't die before Federation. She died less than a month after Federation. She did. Read Imperial Law. Read the first 260 pages of the red annotated Constitution, quick and Garran. It is a public record. It is a foreword to it which explains a heck of a lot of things that you claim are fact when they're absolute lies. Did you read it? I know you didn't, because of the dribble that comes out of your mouth. When I was first told about you, you're this big bright person who knows everything about everything, and I didn't comment. I sat back, I looked at what was being said, I looked at some of your documents because this particular person had them, some of them, and I couldn't see where you got all your stuff from. I couldn't see the value in it, so I never did it. I sat back to see if you got anywhere and you didn't. The only place you got, by filling out bills of exchange. I'm not saying there's not a Bills of Exchange Act, there is. Can you use it? No. Do we have any lawful courts in Western Australia? No. Do we have any in Australia now? No. Why not? There's no Crown. They took it out. You don't even understand what you're talking about. You appear not to understand. I will stand corrected if you show me what you reckon you've got. You don't have an email to me? The person you've been blabbering on to and having things said about me, other than on here, knows exactly what my phone number is, my email and everything else. If you had a look at my Facebook page, you'd see it's on there. Like everybody else who wants to contact me, they can. I don't need to talk to a blubbering fool who all he can do is ridicule me. I joined the police force 50 years ago this January. And I've got a certificate sent to me commemorating 50 years since I joined the police force. I got it earlier this year. That doesn't mean nothing. What it means is I joined the police force to serve the people of this country. You came here as an immigrant, so what? There's nothing wrong with that. Your problem is, Derek, you got an inferiority complex and you think by trying to walk over me and say things about me, I'm going to walk away. You are a moron to think that. I've been told to look at what you do. I looked at it. I had a look at everything you say. Any bit of information on you, Brian Shaw, I keep track of him. I was friends with him. I don't know if I am. He hasn't rang me in a long time. He got someone else to ring me and tell me to ring him. I don't do that. The reason I split from him is he had things to say about a person I didn't like, and I sent him a letter outlining what he said. I do it in the private. But you can't do it in the private. You've got a big mouth. You open it and you stick both your feet in it. This stupid action of boom and tweet and all the stupid noises you make and claims that I refer to Section 128. You can't have a referendum in this country. You can't have anything. Why? Because, as I've said 100 times, we have never, ever had a lawful federal parliament. We can't. No outside agreements, no nothing. None of them are lawful. Why? Simply because we needed 6 states to create, whose representatives create the first federal parliament. You were clutching at straws. Queen Victoria never signed the documents. You know, a queen or a king can make a proclamation that something will be issued in letters patent. And the gentleman's name is Muirhead for Queen Victoria. Used to fill them all out and use the sign manual to sign on behalf of the Queen. But I actually have the letters patent signed by Queen Victoria in relation to the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK. Thanks, Angelo. There are lots and lots of comments coming on here about people who have dealings with you. I'm not going to read them out. I didn't come on here to slander you. I come on here to tell you you lied when you're talking about me. It's the third time. I'm not going to charge you with slander or sue you or any of that. You obviously have a good brain. Get a bottle brush, stick it in the left ear and clean your head out. It's full of crap. You talk about sitting on your butt in reference to that. What a joke. You're like a 2-year-old clutching at straws. When you were still in your mother's womb or beyond, I was here. I was looking and reading and learning. When I went to school, we had 10 subjects. We learnt maths, English, physics, science, woodwork, metalwork, tech drawing, and I made it my business to read every book I could get on popular science, popular mechanics, and National Geographic, and the classics. Why? Because I was interested in learning. When I left school, I went on different jobs, metal spinning and everything else. I literally did everything in my power to learn subjects. and back them up with documents. This is how elections are held. Now, the writs have to be issued by the Governor-General. We don't have any, so we can't have a federal election. But if you don't vote, you're going to get a fine. But if you do fill out that letter, turn up and hand it to them, and my letter is, and it's already prepared, I, Wayne Kenneth of the Family Glue, attended at your polling booth on this date to vote. There's my intention to vote in law. There were no lawful candidates. That's the question to them. Produce lawful candidates according to this, and you can't. And the question of law becomes, why not? Simple question. Can you get your head around that, Derek? One simple question. Stop trying to get people to do stupid things at the election. Turn up with a letter. Don't get your name struck off because you can't vote. There's no way of voting. For some of the reasons you're saying. Why do you twist it around to try and make it look like I'm wrong? Because I'm not. All these documents prove I'm correct and you are wrong. But you've got to continually say I'm lying. Not lying. You don't know what you're talking about. You claim to have this tribal elder and that tribal elder. One of my friends, Gary, from a community up north, Gary Clancy, is a tribal elder. He's part of a big community. We're trying to work out why the government built a medical facility for him, but there's no one to man it, so they've got to go 800 kilometres to get medical assistance. That's behind the scenes what we're doing. Did I win cases? Yes, I did. A lot? No. Because you know and I know you're going into a court that has changed 4 times. It is now a court of presumption. When you walk in the door, you're presumed an object, a thing, or a person. That person is dead under the Corporations Act. That's what you're dealing with in court. But guess what? You're not explaining that. You're too busy trying to denigrate me. Well, that's okay. I'll just denigrate you. I love this little bit. Douche, you lunatic. Just goes to show the extent of your mental capacity. If your documents worked, why weren't you there with the people when they lost their property? When the police and the council came and took it off them, took everything the person had paid for, just like mine. I have the original titles of my property. I've got them. Under the laws of remitter, imperial law, I own that property. Understand that. But your problem is, you will not listen. Oh, I'm going to debate it with you. Actually, you're not. Come back and see me after the election. I might think about it then. Rob Sudi wouldn't debate me because he didn't want anybody to see his face. I've got the documents to prove what I'm saying. All of them. The letters patents, when you read the first 260 pages of the Red Constitution, you'll find out that the letters patents and everything here, which is all these documents for you to look at, including the lawful Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK, this one, it is an enabling act. The Red Book says it's an enabling act. This says it's an enabling act. What does it enable us to do? Because we're a self-governing colony of England, it enables us to have a constitution, to set up federation, because Australians put it together over a little over 10 years or a bit more and presented it to Queen Victoria. Whether she signed it or issued instructions that it be signed is irrelevant to the fact it is a letters patent issued by Queen Victoria. And what have you contributed to this? Nothing, except to say it's not lawful. Why? Because Derek said? Because Derek knows? The problem is, Derek, you don't know. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. And these documents prove what you said today is a pack of lies. I don't refer to a constitution that doesn't exist. There's no Terra Australis. It was a name given to Australia, but the original name of this country, after the Egyptians and the Nordic races, was Beulah Land. If you had as much contact with the native people, you would understand that this country was called Beulah Land. It was claimed in 1605 by Pedro the Portuguese as the great southland of the Holy Spirit. Did you know that? Torres, which was his lieutenant, landed on the west side of Cape York and erected a flag. Pedro actually didn't land on the land. You know that place where the Thursday Island and all those are? And Torres Strait is? You understand? That's what it was named after him. How come you're not talking about that? How come you never explained it? I did. I have. I looked in the Captain Cook's adventures. He wasn't speared at all. He was stabbed in the back with an iron knife because he shot one of the tribal chiefs in Hawaii, because that's where he died. Did you know that? Possibly not, because I don't think you'd look that far. You see, Derek, there are hundreds of people in this country. They're not sheeple, they're not wide awake, they're not chasing any particular thing except justice for the people who died on Anzac Day. And you tried to make a mockery of it by saying I was a liar and all these other people are wrong and nobody blocked the voice. The native people of this country did more to block the voice than any white person, and way more than any political party. Why? Because they didn't want it. They could see through the lies and treachery of the political parties. Not just Albanese or Ellery, whatever his proper name is. He still hasn't answered that allegation, which actually happens to be true, isn't it, Albanese? A lot of what you said about your own history is incorrect. You ought to join forces with him. He's good at telling lies. I'm not going to argue with you all night. I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to delete your sick, stupid comments. So you have a lovely night. Bye.
That's the last one. That's it, darling.
Stop talking. I can cut it off. Look what it went to.
No.
End live feed, live video. It wouldn't cut off. Don't keep